Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Daniel Hood Roofing. It's not easy to find contractors you can trust. It's hard. But I guarantee you won't find a roofer more conscientious, more determined to get the roof right on your home than Daniel Hood and Daniel Hood Roofing. Guy's got a million awards. He's got certificates from training all over the country. And he's got a wall of testimonials. Just go to the website, danielhoodroofing.com. Scroll down. You can learn about them all over the website, but scroll down, you'll see the testimonials from fellow East Tennesseans. You'll find out why so many people use Daniel Hood Roofing. Guys on this desk have used Daniel Hood Roofing, and they're very happy. Daniel Hood Roofing. All right. Everybody knows Tennessee's baseball team isn't very popular outside the state, outside of these parts. And they take great pleasure in that, whether it's flipping a bird, a little bit of showboating, talking a little bit. And I think, you get that back at times. And I was on Twitter. I saw some people noticing the Notre Dame kid the other night hits his home run, stares into that UT dugout, and then flips the bat. I think that's what you get. It's a little like, Tennessee in that 86 Sugar Bowl. They did a little taunting back at Miami that night because this is what you do. We're kicking your tail. We're going to do a little dancing. We're going to do a little showboating. But lots of rival fans have taken to calling Tennessee classless. Well, on Friday night, we got a picture here. Tennessee was selling shirts, classless versus Catholics. You see Uros Plavsic over there on the right. Classless versus Catholics. Did you say these were $20? $20 a pop?
Yes.
All right. Now, that's a play off the old Notre Dame Miami thing in the 80s when Notre Dame had shirts that said Catholics versus convicts. The difference there is Notre Dame was making fun of Miami and calling them convicts. This is Tennessee embracing the classlessness. My question is, and you're going to get old man, stay off my yard, screaming at the clouds, et cetera, but is this just pure harmless fun, or does it damage the reputation at all? Gentlemen, I'll start down there. We always start with you. Chuck?
I think it has to damage it some, don't you? Because you're kind of giving momentum to the classless thing that a lot of people didn't hear about probably, that don't even associate with this. I mean, the social media, and if you keep up with it, you know it. I thought it should have said Vaudevillains versus Catholics or something like that. I don't want to be associated with classless. I just
A villain is okay, but
well,
classless.
you have embraced Vaudevillains on your fan base and in your marketing and other things.
Yep.
Classless, I just don't like. I just don't. I don't want the University of Tennessee to be associated with that.
I got texts from guys who are graduates at UT, who 10, 20 years outside of UT. That's the deal. If you're at UT, classless, and I don't care. Most of these guys who are outside of there and have a UT diploma are like, and I shouldn't say most, but a lot of the guys I've heard from, like, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to somewhere and say I'm with the University of Tennessee, and they went, oh yeah, the classless bunch. Okay. But at the same time, it's just a T-shirt at a ball game. Let me play devil's advocate here. So they call us classless. So what? We're going to wear the shirt, and we're going to wear it with pride. Jimmy, is it just harmless fun, or does it hurt the reputation at all?
I'd say I'd lean toward more harmless fun. By the way, I have met some villains that did have class, Chuck. But no, I don't put a lot of stock in. I will say this: the majority of people I've talked to don't embrace it, didn't really like it. They're also over 50, so there might be a line of demarcation age-wise with that. But the concern you'd have about reputation that you're talking about is, so if people see this, are they going to start saying, wait a minute, why are they calling themselves classless? And then they go dig up some stuff and say, wow, they did this, they did that. Might hurt you a little bit, but I think the majority of it would be harmless.
Bob, you mentioned reputation earlier in the show.
Yeah.
And you can give yourself a reputation that winds up backfiring with umps or whoever. Do you apply that here or no?
Yeah, I do, because, I mean, once again, your school, good, bad, or indifferent, is more known by its athletics than it is by whatever it gets academics. When I was at UT, classless meant something else. I would go a whole week classless, still managed to graduate. Maybe you shouldn't have said that. Yeah. But anyway, no, calling yourself a name, I just don't get that. I don't understand that. And so the play on the Catholics versus convicts, one, God, that was a long time ago. Two, Okay, call yourselves a name.
How do you think Randy Board and the Board of Trustees care? Or do they just like, we're selling shirts and we got people over there, we love it? Or do they go, I don't know if that's what we do. We want to be
care
known
a
as classless.
smidge.
Secretly, they would
smidge.
care, but not publicly.
Right. It would be a smidge.
And John, one thing I'd say real quick is one of the things I like about what this baseball team and some others have done, you brought a lot of children wearing Tennessee stuff that were like Alabama gear at football games or Florida gear at football games. You got a lot more children there enjoying it with their families. How do you explain that to a 10-year-old kid? Daddy, why does that
Well,
T-shirt
see,
say classless?
that's where you're going to get, the children. That's where you're going to get hit for
Well,
us
I mean,
being
that's
ancient
fine,
guys.
but I mean, it's just another reason why it's shown on national TV.
My only issue with the whole classless thing is, and I can say it about my Celtics fans. I'm a lifelong hardcore Celtics fans, and I can't stand that I'm going to watch them lose to the Warriors. But this past week, they chanted "F you, Draymond" to Draymond Green. 30 seconds, but it was national television. It became a big deal. People said, the Warriors after the game, like, stay classy, Boston. And people were saying it was classless. And then I listened to Boston radio where Boston people called in angry. They're calling us classless. Well, if you don't like being called classless, don't chant F you, Draymond. If you want to chant that and don't care what they say, then don't cry when they call you classless. That's my only thing, and that's all fandom. But here, you wear that and say, that's right, I'm proud to be classless. They call us classless, and I don't care. And yet, as soon as somebody in the national media or an opposing fan says classless on Twitter, they are attacked like there's nobody's business. How dare you say it? You can't have it both ways. You can't say, we're classless, and I don't care what you say. You said what? You can't say we're classless. And that's, again, my Celtics fans, that's just a fan thing that you want it both ways. I don't care what you say. Don't talk about me. That, to me, is a little silly. So if you're going to wear the shirt, I don't want to hear any complaints. I don't want to see anybody on social media getting ripped because they say you're classless. They're just reading your shirt.
Well, if
I
you're
can
going to wear the
criticize my brother, but you can't.
Yeah.
and if you're going to wear the shirt, you
right.
got to own it, right?
I already ended this segment.
All right.
All
Well, yeah, I
very
mean,
good.
they're not going to just let you wear a shirt you didn't buy.
Well, some people do.
You got to own it.
All right, Tennessee's NIL collective is something to brag about, I would think. Plenty of people have been bragging about it. Somebody said this week that they bought a good player, and all hell broke loose. So is the NIL something you're supposed to brag about, or is it something nobody can talk about? It's kind of along the same lines we were just discussing. Come on back on the Sports Source.